Hey everyone, I'm Dino Bidala, and welcome to tonight's Dino Bidala Show on SiriusXM Channel 127, Monday, May 24th. By the way, quick thing, a new poll came out a short time ago. This is real. 53% of Republicans believe that Donald Trump is currently the real president. In a related story, I don't care what white nationalists think. And related to that is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look, there are a lot of people, even on TV, saying Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman from Georgia, is insane or an idiot and she's delusional and all this stuff. What I will tell you is Marjorie Taylor Greene is sane and she's dangerous. And that's the way she must be looked at, because we lived through a person spewing hate and lies for the last 4+ years in Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's lies and attacks of different minority communities resulted in one thing: a spike in hate crimes against those communities, documented by the FBI. It also resulted in the January 6th terrorist attack. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene literally following the exact same playbook. She is demonizing minorities and continuing furthering the big lie, which she was at a rally Friday in Arizona over there telling people that Donald Trump actually won the election. And you got to be blunt. If you're still having rallies saying Donald Trump won the election, you're a traitor. But we know that. But the GOP is fine with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think people know about her history of anti-Muslim bigotry, calling the election of Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar an Islamic invasion, and her comments about blacks and her comments about Jewish lasers, but really wasn't. She said there were California forest fires that were begun by the Rothschilds banking, which was an anti-Semitic trope. That was all despicable. It was before she was in office, though. And for some, that makes a distinction. But now she's saying things while a member of Congress, and it's far more dangerous, but she's got the power of the office and sort of the auspices of the U.S. Congress. Now, last week, she literally equated Nancy Pelosi requiring members of Congress to wear a cloth on their face, a mask, for the time they're on the floor, as with the Holocaust. And I don't mean in general. She said it specifically. She said, we can look back at it. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about the mask mandate. We could look back at a time in history where people were told to wear a gold star, and they were definitely treated like second-class citizens. And she added, so much so that they were put in trains and taken to gas chambers in Nazi Germany. This is exactly the type of abuse that Nancy Pelosi is talking about. Greene comparing wearing a mask for a few seconds to the atrocities, the evil of the Nazis directed at the Jews, shows you how little she thinks of the Jewish people. That's part of it, because it's not like she doesn't understand it, folks. She gets it. She's talking about trains there. She knows how bad it was. But to her, the white grievance of having to wear a mask is as bad as 6 million Jews being slaughtered, tortured, killed, annihilated, exterminated. In her view, it's the same, because she thinks that's the suffering. That's the equivalent of suffering. She was denounced by Jewish leaders, as you would imagine. The American Jewish Congress said you can never compare health-related restrictions with yellow stars, gas chambers, and Nazi atrocities. Now, why did she say it? Besides believing it, because she definitely believes it. She definitely believes it. Her, as a white person, having to wear a mask is the equivalent of 6 million Jews being killed. That's what she believes. Did she also say it to get press attention? Sure, I imagine that. But then she went on to double down on it, because on Friday night in Arizona, after her continuing to attack our democracy, she was asked, what's your response to people like the American Jewish Congress and other Jewish groups denouncing you? She said, I stand by all of my statements. I said nothing wrong. And then she added something even worse. She said that any rational Jewish person didn't like what happened with the Nazis, and any rational Jewish person also would object to these masks. She used the term rational twice there. That's like saying any good Jewish person or any patriotic Jewish person. It's a qualifier by design. You don't have to be an expert on demonization to understand what she's telling her base, that if you're Jewish and you're still complaining, you're irrational. You're not one of us. And this is concerning. We're living in a time when we've seen a spike in anti-Semitic hate crimes over the last week and a half. And now you have this woman out there saying horrible stuff, demeaning the horrors of the Holocaust, which is comparable to nothing that we've seen in modern era time. Horrific. And this is not the first time. And you wonder if Marjorie Taylor Greene is anti-Semitic or not. To remind you, not only the thing about the Rothschilds and that the Rothschilds Banking Institute was involved with lasers burning down California wildfires. Something got less press in 2018, though, but very dangerous, that she shared on YouTube, as Times of Israel pointed out, a video advocating the white nationalist Great Replacement theory. In that, it, quote, falsely alleges Jews are conspiring to undermine white majority countries by bringing in non-white immigrants. That's as the Times of Israel reported. You might remember that's the exact QAnon-type conspiracy theory that inspired the attack on the Tree of Life Synagogue in 2018 by white nationalists who slaughtered 11 Jews while in their place of worship. This is not a game. This is dangerous. We're living in a time where people are taking violence as a way to deal with their disputes. We saw it on January 6th. We saw it pre-January 6th. We saw it in the hate crimes perpetrated by Trump supporters on the very minorities he demonized. Now Marjorie Taylor Greene is carrying that torch. She is a leader of the GOP. You can't dismiss her. She raised $3.2 million in the first 3 months of this year, more than almost any other Republican other than Kevin McCarthy and one or two others. She raised 3 times as much as AOC on the Democratic side did. She has a huge following. And again, by her saying rational Jews would never disagree, is telling her supporters, many who are going to be white nationalists, because if you like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're into white nationalism, that Jews who they hate already are being irrational. They're being dangerous. They're not being loyal. That's the message. This is dangerous. And where is Kevin McCarthy? Where's the House GOP minority leader? He's silent. You know, for 4.5 years, we were lied to. I don't think intentionally, but we were misled. I shouldn't say lie. Misled by the media saying Republicans were silent to Donald Trump because they were afraid of getting a tweet or getting a Facebook post. And I would always say, that's wrong. They are silent when Trump spews white supremacist garbage or demonizes minorities or anything else he did, not because they feared him, because they agreed with him. At this point, the stakes are very clear. You know what Marjorie Taylor Greene's about. The GOP's silence, Kevin McCarthy and the GOP's silence is because they agree with her. They are complicit. If they weren't, I can assure you Kevin McCarthy would be on TV denouncing her. He is silent because he agrees with it. And you might go, that's outrageous. How do you say that? Because he's seen what we've seen. He's seen 5 days of coverage, and he's been silent on purpose. Liz Cheney, meanwhile, called this evil lunacy. Several other Republican congressmen have denounced it, but not the leading Republican, not the second-ranking Republican, not the new Elise Stefanik, who replaced Liz Cheney, because they agree with it. Even if they don't agree with every word, they agree with it because it will bring along the white nationalists, the anti-Semites, the anti-Muslim bigots that the GOP needs to win the House in 2022. So I don't care if they agree with the exact words or not. Their silence means they're complicit in this. We'll talk about that more on my show tonight. My show's live 6 to 9 p.m. on SiriusXM channel 127. If you don't subscribe to SiriusXM, go to the website. There are free trials. Check it out. Better yet, don't just listen to my show, which you should, channel 127. Call in, be a part of our family. We got a lot of work to do, my friends. This fight's not over because Trump is gone. We have a Republican Party that's a white nationalist fascist movement. And we have them now complicit with anti-Semite, anti-Muslim bigots like Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you want progress, stay active. No better place than my show. Thanks for tuning in to the preview.